There are also security settings. It's going to depend on whether you have BIOS or UEFI. BIOS has two sorts of passwords. You have the boot password, which is a password that you would be asked every time the system booted up. Now, to be clear, this is not the same thing as the password you use to get into your computer. That's a Windows password or a Mac or Linux. Okay, that's not a boot password. Boot password is actually configured in the BIOS. So before the BIOS will even pass off to the operating system, you would need a boot password. Fairly uncommon, but can be done. Supervisor password is a good idea because that's a password that's required to get into the BIOS setup utility. And that's something we would probably want to limit access to that. Some other settings, a trusted platform module, TPMs and HSMs. A TPM is actually a type of HSM. It's just a security chip on the motherboard as opposed to potentially an extra component. TPMs are used for full volume encryption. In Windows, and we will talk about this later, that is referred to as BitLocker, where you can lock the entire drive. And by default, it requires this TPM chip on the motherboard, which 10 years ago was fairly uncommon to see, and now it's pretty uncommon not to see it. What it does is it works in conjunction with BitLocker to prevent tampering with hardware components. So when you boot up the system, there are cryptographic keys that are stored on that chip that are used to decrypt the drive. But those cryptographic keys can only be accessed if the startup components haven't been modified. In addition to that, you can combine it with a PIN number so that not only do I need the cryptographic key, but now I need a PIN number to basically decrypt it and get it to unlock the drive. And the hardware security modules are going to be the same kind of thing. It's just usually a removable device. Some BIOS or UEFI will also support the ability to set USB permissions. That's, to control read and write access to USB ports, which is necessary in some higher security environments.